Welcome to another episode of the Thinking Big podcast. I'm your host, Sean Osborn, and today we're going to talk about decisions and how they shape our lives. We'll explore the neuroscience behind decision making and how it intertwines with our daily choices. Now picture this, you're standing on the edge of a cliff, you're looking over at this vast ocean of opportunities, but there's a catch. You've got to take the leap. You've got to make the decision to jump. And if you're someone who struggles with indecision or the fear of failure, then buckle up because this episode is your golden ticket on taking control of your decisions.
Welcome to the Thinking Big podcast with Sean Osborn, the show helping you think bigger into your life and potential. Sean believes by equipping you with the tools, strategies, and philosophies required to be successful in all aspects of your life, you can achieve anything you believe in. Empowering our own growth makes a deeply positive and lasting impact on our lives, community, and our world. Now, here's Sean.
Now, before we continue with this episode, I have some super exciting news to share. First off, a huge thank you to our sponsor, Logitech, for making this giveaway possible. And I am absolutely blown away by not only the number of people who registered for the giveaway, but I was surprised that they were from all over the globe. And that actually sparked some curiosity for me. So I took a peek at the Apple Podcast chart history for this year alone. And guess what? This podcast has hit the top 30 entrepreneurial podcasts in 52 countries. I am not surprised by the entries that we had, and I am speechless. This is all thanks to you, my friends. You rock, and thank you so much. And this achievement is not just a win for the podcast, but a win for this incredible community that we have built together. You know, it's a testament to the power of sharing knowledge and supporting each other in our entrepreneurial journeys. Now hold on to your hats because I have just selected the winner of our Logitech Brio 4K web camera giveaway. Drum rolls, please. The winner is Teresa C. Congratulations. I will be sending you an email today with all the different details to get this camera to you. So again, thank you so much. And so to our giveaway winner, Teresa, and to all of our listeners who have been a part of this amazing journey, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Now let's get back to the show where we're going to continue to empower and inspire through mindful choices. All right, everybody, here we go. By making quick and confident decisions, you will unlock your inner power and take control of your life. You'll be able to overcome obstacles and reach your goals faster and more effectively. And we're not just talking about making, decisions. We're talking about making them with gusto, with courage, and with a sense of purpose. So let's kick things off with a few quotes about decisions. Here's one from Raymond Charles Barker. Success and failure are the result of the use of mind. Every successful motivated mind has been a decisive mind, and every failure motivated mind has been an indecisive mind. And decision making really affects every aspect of our lives. Here's a quote from John Maxwell, and he says, "The inability to make decisions is one of the principal reasons executives fail. Deficiency in decision-making ranks much higher than that of lack of specific knowledge or technical know-how as an indicator of leadership failure. It's not what you know, it's what you do." And now let's sprinkle in a little bit of neuroscience into this, decision discussion. Our brains are wired for decisions, but sometimes the wiring gets a little crossed, a little wiggly, a little loose, and the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is responsible for decision-making, can sometimes be influenced by our emotions. And that's coming from our amygdala. How many people listening right now have made a decision or really procrastinated making a decision because of an emotion? And this is where tools like NLP or neuro-linguistic programming or neuroencoding come in. They help us rewire our brains to make more rational and positive decisions. Now, what's the big deal about making decisions? Well, without making quick and firm decisions, you're going to miss out on opportunities and really be held back by indecision. The risk of avoiding decisions is losing control of your life and missing out on the abundance that life has to offer. Success, it starts with a clear decision on what one wants, what you want to achieve, and then by taking action towards the goal, by taking action to get there. And indecision and procrastination are major obstacles to success and really the ability to make firm and definite decisions, which is a key characteristic of successful people. Now, I hear you saying right now, Sean, what about risks? Well, my friends, it's important to take risks. We have to, or should I say at least calculated risk, because success often requires us stepping out of our own comfort zone. And the more you understand your own strength and weaknesses, the easier it becomes to make the right decision to mitigate a lot of those risks. Now, let's talk about really what I call the evil twins of decisions, and that's indecision and procrastination. These two are like the pesky neighbors who always show up uninvited, or they're always playing their loud music. They're always bugging you, right? Indecision is that nagging feeling of not being able to make a clear and competent choice, while procrastination, procrastination is an art form, but it's the art of delaying and postponing tasks and decisions. And the evil twins can cause you to miss out on so many opportunities and slow you down or even halt your progress towards any of your goals. For instance, indecision can cause you to, miss a deadline, an important event, or delay making an investment that could lead to significant growth. They can cause us to miss out on, valuable learning experiences or limiting our ability to develop new skills. And these evil twins can create really a vicious cycle where we continuously delay making decisions or delay taking actions, leading to missed opportunities and a lack of progress. And the good news, my friends, is there's a way to break that cycle. It's crucial for us to overcome indecision and procrastination and make decisions quickly and take immediate action towards our goals. And this requires us identifying. We have to identify these, and we have to identify the indecisions and the procrastinations that we have and develop strategies to overcome them. Such as building our burning desire for what it is that we want in life, setting clear goals, prioritizing tasks, and really taking consistent and persistent action. And there's one thing that we really need to talk about if we're talking about taking consistent and persistent action, and that's the shiny object syndrome. When you can't stick to one thing because something else always catches your eye, well, that's just a lack of making and sticking to. Now, there's one thing that you will notice if you pay attention to people who are successful at reaching their goals, whatever goals it is, and they reach their decisions quickly and change them barely slowly, if ever at all. They don't get sidetracked from their plan. They don't have the shiny object syndrome. They stick to their goals. And on the other hand, unsuccessful people who don't achieve their goals, it's completely opposite. They put off making a decision. And once they have actually decided and they make a decision, they end up changing their minds very quickly. And it makes it absolutely impossible to move consistently towards your goals. These are obstacles that you must overcome. Decisive people are also undeterred by others' criticism. What they want to do is what they're going to do, regardless of what other people think. And I'm sure you've seen people like this, and sometimes they're considered, bullheaded or mean, but nothing's going to get out of their way. How many times have you, and I know I do this sometimes, take other people's negative opinions to heart, and it changes our decisions? And here's just a little gold nugget of wisdom. The most important and influential decisions are those that require the most courage to make, those with the highest risk. When you have a big, skin in the game, that's when the decisions really matter. Last week, I was having a conversation with one of my co-members in a mastermind group that I'm in, and they were talking about not taking action. They were not making the decision to move forward because they didn't think they were ready. They thought they needed some more skills, or they needed to grow their list, grow their tribe before they took action. And this is really what led me to do this podcast this week on this. And I really want to talk about how we normally make decisions. And it's really completely backwards on how we should really make decisions. So let's dive into some of the nitty-gritty on how our brains usually make decisions. And imagine your brain as a supercomputer. But sometimes it's running a program called DOS. And I probably dated myself here, but people might not even know what DOS is. But anyways, so how do we typically make decisions? Well, most of the time, people tend to rationalize and reason through their choices. Sounds smart, right? But hold on for 1 second. When you reason, you're using all the information that you've gathered in your life so far. That's your programming. That's your belief system, or what I call your BS. Yeah, that's your belief system is BS. So essentially, you're using old programming to make decisions. It's like asking a VHS tape for advice in the age of streaming. Not the brightest idea, is it? Now, our ability to think objectively is conditioned by our experiences and what we know about our current reality. It's like trying to navigate a spaceship on a pirate map. If our goals are big, they're not going to fit our current reality. How could they? If they do, they're not big enough goals. Picture this, you have a dream or a goal, something that you really want to achieve. But then the reasoning mind steps in, says, well, Sean, you need to make that decision when you have the time or the money or the skills and you have the right connections, right? And of course, you have to know exactly what you want to do. But since you don't have all those things lined up in a neat little row, you end up not making the decision. And guess what? Your goal vanishes. It's into thin air. Poof, gone, never to be seen again. The sneaky little character of your brain, your subconscious mind, it's like an overprotective friend who means well, but sometimes holds you back. Do you have friends like that? And your subconscious mind adores you. It would take a bullet for you. It doesn't want to see you get hurt, so it tries to keep you cozy and safe. It's like wrapping you up in bubble wrap. And I want you to write this down. Unless, of course, you're driving right now, then obviously don't write this down. But write this down. Sometimes safety means stagnation. I want to repeat that. Sometimes safety means stagnation. It keeps us stuck. And your subconscious mind might offer you an escape hatch, a way out that seems 100% reasonable to you. It makes perfect sense to you, right? It's your reasoning mind. But in reality, it's just trying to keep you in the same damp comfort zone that you're on. It's like your brain is just saying, hey, Sean, stay here where it's warm. Nothing's going to hurt you here. But sometimes we need to step out into the cold to truly live. So be aware of that conniving yet well-meaning part of your brain, the subconscious. Thank it for its concerns, but sometimes you have to put your adventure hat on and step out of the safety zone. Remember, your subconscious mind is running old programs. It's time to hit the update button and reprogram for adventure, for growth, and bold decisions. So let's make decisions with our eyes on the stars, not our old programming that keeps us looking down at our feet. And here's a little neuroscience nugget for you. Our brains have something called the prefrontal cortex, which is like the CEO of decision making. It weighs the pros and the cons, but sometimes our emotions can hijack that process. And that's when the subconscious mind and its safety protocols kick in. So the trick is to strike a balance. Listen to your emotions, but don't let them steer the ship. Engage the CEO, your prefrontal cortex, and make decisions that align with your goals and your values. And remember, sometimes the best decisions are the ones that scare the crap out of us. They push us out of our comfort zone and into a whole new territory. That's where the magic actually happens. There is a great quote from W.H. Murray that starts with, until one is committed, there's hesitancy, the chance to draw back. How many times have you just sat back in the morning, drinking your morning coffee, and suddenly the idea pops into your head and you think, oh, wow, that would be a fantastic thing to do. And you're all excited. You're like a kid in a candy store. So you roll up your sleeves, you dive in, but then just as you start making a smidgen of progress, reality hits you in the face and you realize, oh, this might be a little bit tougher than I thought. And then, my friend, the great pause button in the sky gets pressed and you tell yourself, I'll put this on the back burner for now. I'll circle back a little bit later. Days turn into weeks, then the weeks turn into months. And that brilliant idea, well, it's dead. It's gone, kaput. It's no longer going to be there. Unless it's truly a committed decision, it's so darn easy just to abandon ship. It's not really a hesitancy. It's just so easy to abandon. Neuroscience tells us that our brains are wired to avoid discomfort. When we face challenges, that's the emotional part of the brain. It starts ringing alarm bells. It's trying to keep us safe. But as I said, sometimes safe means stagnant. So how do we keep our dreams from deflating? Well, we need to make a committed indecision. We need to anchor our ships to our goals and weather the storm. We need to remind ourselves why we started and what we are really aiming for. It's like putting on your adventure hat and saying, I'm in this for the long haul. It's about embracing the challenges, learning from them, and keeping your eye always on the prize. And I want to go back to that W.H. Murray quote. He goes on in the same quote to say, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. It's like the universe itself aligns with your intentions. And I kind of want to break that down a little bit because there's a world of difference between being interested in something and being committed to it. It's like the difference between window shopping and buying the whole damn store. And here's a funny analogy that I came across. Think about a breakfast of eggs and bacon. The chicken, he had an interest. But the pig, he was committed, right? That's the difference between just being interested in something and being truly committed. So what does this mean for your dreams and goals? They need to be declarations. Draw the line in the sand and say, come hell or high water, I'm going to achieve this. Like putting on your superhero cape and saying, nothing can stop me. And then further on in the quote from W.H. Murray, he ends up saying, which is pure gold, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it. God, I just love that quote. It's so good. So let's stop dilly-dallying around. Let's start. You can steer the ship once it's moving, once you're going. But it's got to be moving first. You got to do that first. Action is like a snowball rolling down a hill. It builds momentum. Now let's remember back to how we normally rationalize our decisions. Do we have the time? Do we have the money? Do we have the skills? Do we have the connections? When the real question is the dream or this goal so important to me that I will do whatever it takes to make it happen? The decision is at the beginning of the process. It's like opening the door to a treasure room. Once you commit, then you're going to find the time. Then you're going to find the money and the skills. And oh my God, you're going to meet the right people in order to do that. It's like the universe is truly conspiring to help you. And our normal decision-making process is just backwards. We always wait for the end to say, well, if we get all these things, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the decision. And here's the cherry on top. Through this method of decision-making, you grow. You evolve into the person who can achieve those dreams. It's like leveling up in a video game. So let's be the pigs in this and not the chickens. Let's commit, let's take action and transform into the superheroes of our own stories. And this ties into another very powerful quote that I want to tell you about. And it's from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And he says, do the thing, and then you get the energy to do the thing. Now let's pause for a second on this, because Emerson wasn't talking about chugging an energy drink or doing jumping jacks. He was talking about a deeper kind of energy, the energy that fuels our dreams and our aspirations. Let's play a quick little game here. Is time energy? Yes or no? What about money? What about skills? What about talents? Is that all energy? The answer is a resounding yes. Everything is energy. And that's the secret sauce. When you take that first step, when you do the thing, you unlock a cascade of energy. When you start doing it, that's when you find the time. That's when you get the money. That's when you get the skills. They all start flowing your way. And it's like turning on the faucet and watching the water just start gushing out. Now, I hear some of you saying right now, I get it all the time, I need to feel motivated first. I'm not motivated to do anything, so I'm not going to start. And let me just tell you this, my dear listeners, motivation is a fickle friend. It comes and goes like the wind, and it doesn't start with motivation. You make the decision to act, and that builds the motivation. That builds the burning desire. You never start with a burning desire. You have to build that. So if we are sitting around waiting for the energy, if we're sitting around saying, well, once I have the time, once I have the money, once I have the resources to hit you before you start, guess what? It's never going to happen. The train has left the station. It's not coming back. So I want you to picture life as a grand stadium, one of those ancient Roman, stadiums, right? And there is the field of play where all the action happens. And then there are the stands where the spectators watch. Where do you want to be? Well, let me tell you, life happens in the field of play. But the moment you say, I can't do that because I don't know how, I don't know the right people, I don't have the right skills, or I don't have the money, you're taking yourself from the game. You're moving from the field of play to the stands. You become a spectator in your own life. And the crazy part, we do this all the time without even realizing it. It's like sleepwalking through life. Let's wake up. Let's lace up our own cleats and get back on the damn field. Let's do the thing and watch the energy, watch the time, the money, the skills flow our way. Opinions and decisions. Let's swim in the murky water of opinions. You know what they say about opinions, right? Opinions are like butts. Everyone has one and they all stink. When I work with people who don't achieve the success, the goals that they're craving, are often swayed by the opinions of others. And they let the Facebook or Instagram or the keyboard warriors sway their thoughts and sway their ideas. And let me tell you, opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. They're like confetti at a parade thrown around without a second thought everywhere. That confetti is everywhere. And if you let opinions of others steer your ship, you're bound to hit rocky waters. We need to be the captains of our own destiny, the captains of our own ship. And here's just a little pro tip. Before you actually ask someone their opinion, make sure that they actually engage in thinking. There's a funny quote that says, 2% of people think, 3% of people think they think, and 95% of people would rather die than think. So before you take anybody's opinion, you better make sure that they're actually the ones that are thinking. Keep your own counsel. When you embark on your journey to success, make your own decisions. Stick to them like glue. And be very selective on who you confide in. Even well-meaning friends and family, they love us, but they can unintentionally throw a wrench in our gears with their opinions and their jokes. And for me, the only people I confide in and weigh their opinions are the members of my mastermind groups that I'm in. That's it. And again, I just weigh their opinions. I don't let them sway my choices, my decisions, but I will weigh their opinions and I will listen to the people only in my mastermind groups. Now, let's get real for a second. When you finally make a decision to chase your dreams or to go after that big goal, you're going to face some tough choices. It's like climbing a mountain, and the higher you go, the harder that those choices get. But remember, the hard decisions are the ones that count. It is so easy to say yes when there's nothing on the line, but when the stakes are high, that's when your true character shines through. And one of my mentors actually once told me, Sean, if you're stuck in any area of your life, you have a problem making decisions. If I'm not where I want to be in my health or in my relationships or in my finances, chances are good that I'm not making a decision that I need to make. And I know that sounds harsh. It sounded harsh to me. I'm like, wow, that is a reality check. It's like being stuck in quicksand, and the more you avoid making the decision, the deeper you get in the quicksand, the deeper you go, right? So I challenge you to break free. Let's make those decisions, even if they're tough, especially if they're tough. Let's make those decisions and lock into our dreams like a hawk eyeing its prey. And when those naysayers, when they chime in with their 2 cents, let's remember that our dreams are priceless. And we are the authors of our own stories, and we won't let anyone else hold the pen. And before we close out, I really want to remind you, stay bold, stay focused, and don't let the opinions of others cloud your vision. Before we do that, I will have a quick little brain teaser for you, or a little challenge for you. Did you know that neurotransmitters, dopamine, play a significant, role in our decision making? It's like the brain's reward system, right? And when you make a decision that your brain perceives as beneficial, it releases dopamine, which makes you feel good. And it's like getting the gold star from the brain. And that's where really NLP and neuroencoding come in handy, because by using these techniques to reframe how we think about our decisions, we can actually train our brains to associate decision making with positive outcomes, and we get those big dopamine hits. And when you do that, it can really help you become more decisive and take action more quickly. It's like giving your brain a high five. Well, thank you again for joining me on this episode, and I hope you enjoyed exploring the fascinating world of decisions and its connection with neuroscience, and I hope you found it enlightening and inspiring. And if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to follow, rate, and review this podcast on your favorite platform, whichever that one is. It really does help us reach more people who, like you, enjoy and they're eager to unlock their full potential and create the life that they desire, the life that they really want. And until next episode, when we'll be diving into another exciting topic to help you continue your journey towards personal growth and success. Until then, keep thinking big and remember, the power to change your life lies within you.